Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel QA Junction. In this video, you are going to learn how to automate and validate the radio buttons, checkboxes and dropdowns using Cypress. Our test requirements are we need to land on this web page and you can see there is a radio button section, checkboxes section as well as the dropdown section. So from this radio button you need to select mail, and in this checkboxes you need to select both the checkboxes, and from this drop down you need to select performance testing. This is our test requirement. Let me explain you what is radio button and checkbox. As you can notice, in radio buttons we can only select any one option, whereas in checkboxes we can select multiple options, and this is the drop down from which we can select only one. In almost all the web pages, radio buttons are only single selected and checkboxes are allowed with multiple selects. Coming to this drop down, this is the static drop down. That means it starts with the select tag in document object model. Let's automate one by one. I hope you already know these lines of code because it has already been explained in my previous videos. So this reference types equal to Cypress helps us to auto suggest the methods of Cypress, and we will write our test case in describe it blocks. Under it block we will write our test cases, and it block should be under describe block. This is the format for writing our test cases. If you are not aware of this, please watch my previous videos. Our first step is to navigate on that web page, right? cy.visit. Give the URL here. After navigating on this web page, just scroll down and you can see the radio button section. So we need to select mail radio button. So just right click and inspect. If you observe the DOM document object model, you can see type equal to radio, that means a radio button. So we can write a shortcut CSS because we have a ID attribute here. Tag name is input. You can give hash and value of the ID attribute. As you can see, it is exactly matching that radio button, and you can also see one of one here. Use this in your VS Code. Let me write down the comments. Radio button cy.get, give the CSS locator, and there is a method called check in Cypress. You can also use click, but check would be the appropriate one. Dot, you can put the validations here. So if we put the validations, we need to use assertion, and in JavaScript we will be using dot should. Inside the braces I am giving b dot check. As you can see, the first option which is suggesting us, just select it. This means it will validate that the radio button is checked or not. If it is checked, it will pass. If it is not checked, it will fail our test case. So this behavior is nothing but it is validating that the checkbox is checked. You can also validate the value of the radio button. Let's say this radio button has value mail and you want to validate it. Just give the same CSS locator dot should have dot value. So this assertion is for attributes of DOM. So we are telling that this radio button attribute value should have the value called mail, right? That's what it is given in document object model, as you can see. So here we kept two validations. One is for checkbox is checked or not to confirm that, and next one is that we are validating the value attributes. Let's automate checkbox now. So here right click, inspect. So you can see type equal to checkbox, and here we can write the shortcut CSS because we have a class name here. Tag name is input, and we have a class attribute, so we can use dot the value of class attribute. As you can see, it is exactly matching the checkbox, and here it is showing 1 of 1. Use this in your VS Code. cy.get, give the CSS locator here, and you can use same check method. So it will check the checkbox, and let's keep the validation here, should be dot check. So this checkbox name is automation testing, so we need to validate. So we can validate it with this value. You can add it in one single line. We are performing check functionality on this checkbox, and we are asserting that it should be checked, and we will also add one more validation, dot should have dot value, comma, we need to give the value which is automation. That's pretty much about checkboxes. Let's handle the dropdown. These dropdowns are also known as static dropdowns because it is designed with select tag. Just right click on this dropdown, inspect, and you can see it is enclosed in select tag. When you expand this, these are all the options which are enclosed in select tag. Any dropdown which is enclosed in select tag is known as static dropdown. So write the CSS for this. Tag name is select, attribute is ID, value should be enclosed in single quote. Alright, it is exactly matching that dropdown. Use it in your VS Code. cy.get, give the CSS locator, and there is a method called select. You can use that, and you can give anything. So if you want to give this exact text, let's say I want to select this performance testing, so you can just copy that from DOM and paste it here. It will select that exact performance testing from the dropdown. Let's save our spec file and execute our test case. Open the Cypress dashboard, npx cypress open, hit enter, and I am selecting Chrome. Click on start end-to-end testing in Chrome. Select your spec file from here. My spec file here is cbrb dropdown. I am clicking on that. Cypress test runner will execute your test case. As you can see, it has selected mail from the radio buttons and checkbox as automation testing, and from this dropdown it has selected performance testing. The execution was so fast. You can check this in this test runner one by one. So first it has selected that mail, and then it put a assertion like it needs to be checked, and it got passed. Same thing, we have validated the attributes value by keeping the assertion. It got passed, and this is for checkbox to be checked, and same value attribute assertion, and then from the dropdown it has selected performance testing. You can also put assertion for this select method, dot should. So I will be giving the assertion for attribute. So I will be giving here have dot value, comma, and here the value is performance. That's it. Save your spec file. Cypress will automatically execute your test case. Ctrl S. As you can see, it is so speed, and it has already executed our test case. Let me rerun. As you can see, it has already selected everything which we gave, and you can see it has also validated that attribute value performance. So in this video I have explained checkboxes, radio buttons and dropdowns by keeping an assertion to it. Assertions plays major role in automation testing. In order to keep an validation we need to use assertion. Let me show you the importance of assertion here. Let's say here instead of b.checked I am giving it as not.b.check. It should fail, right? So I am telling that this checkbox should be checked, but I am writing the assertion should not be checked. Just save your spec file and check the Cypress test runner. It will fail. And it will clearly says us that expected radio button not to be checked. But you can see it is checked. So thus the importance of assertion. You can play around for your test validations. If I save this now, our test case is passed. I hope you understood this video. Thank you.